Listen.
You people want to get wild? You want to get real wild? You think Kentucky board gamer in the house?
Now let's get out there and melt some faces!
What is going on, everyone? Tim here, the Kentucky Board Gamer, and I am getting ready to do a little painting, as you can see. Just looking back here to make sure everything's working alright, and it looks like it might be this time. So, anyway, what I'm doing is painting some of these miniatures from Beyond the Gates of Antares, or Antares, and these particular guys are the Algorin, and this is for Warlord Games. And when I get done painting them, I'm excited to get them finished, because once I get done painting them, I get to play the game, as most of you probably know. Quick disclaimer: I am not a professional. I don't claim to be. You'll see me do subpar jobs that I will be overly proud of, and I don't understand why. This takes a lot of hard work and dedication to do, and a lot of skill, talent, and blah blah blah. All of which I pretty much don't have. So, we're going to be doing this for about an hour. I'm going to be working on these four guys right here. And my goal for this little stream is to get them to end up looking like these guys, which are highlighted and, you know, ready to go as far as table ready, I guess you could say. So first things first, I've already done the base coat on them, and it looks a little rough on these guys, but I think that'll kind of help because of the types of battles they get into. So we're going to leave it the way it is, and we're going to jump straight into the we'll do the Dragon Red next. And the reds that I'm using are Chaotic Red, Dragon Red, Pure Red, and Red Tone, as well as Uniform Gray for the highlights on matte black. So, as you can see, I've already done a little bit of painting. I'm assuming you can see that kind of. There it is. I've done a little bit of painting this morning already. We're going to go ahead and do some more, though. So let's get a little bit of the Dragon Red. And this one is more of a dry brush, so I'm not going to use either of these two, although I love using this one for everything. This is the Regiment brush. I don't know why, I love using it for everything. And then you have the Insane Detail brush. These are Wargamer Regiment, Wargamer Insane Detail from the Army Painter. I am not, sponsored by them or anything. It's just what I happen to have. If they'd like to sponsor me, though, I will not tell them no. So, we're going to go ahead and work on a little dry brush. Now, this one is for my glue, and you'll see why after we get to that stage. So here I've got my brush that I use for dry brushing. It's an older, cheaper brush, and I just love it for doing this because it's an older, cheaper brush. So if it gets all crappy, I don't really care. And all we're doing is we're not wanting to cover the whole model. we're wanting to bring some tones out so that when we throw the bright red on it, it really pops on those edges. So this is more the non-shadowed regular colors that you would normally see on the armor of these guys. Now if it works out that way, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a pro. I just enjoy doing this. And this might take more than one coat. I don't know. We'll just kind of see as we go. Now I've done a couple of them already, but you know, whenever you paint, if you're kind of like in the groove of doing what you're doing, it's real easy to replicate. But then once you quit and you come back to it, it's not so easy to replicate anymore. So that is that. And we're gonna see, this guy needs quite a bit more red on him there. So for the next hour, this is what you will be seeing me do. Roughly hour, anyway. If you don't mind watching that, awesome. If you do mind watching that, sorry. So yeah, see, that's all we're doing. Looks like one coat should be enough on this. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next guy. And load the brush again. Just take off the excess. And we want to lightly hit the model to create some base highlighting. Now this is not going to be the full high points or the edges. This is just to differentiate the tones. Listen to me sound all professional like. Don't know where that's coming from. It's just me doing the best I can to describe what I'm describing to someone who may not know. And I'm trying to keep these in screen. I apologize if I don't. I'm still getting used to the whole painting with the camera right here. It's not particularly difficult, but it's definitely not the easiest thing in the world. So we're going to go ahead and thin it out a little bit. Load the brush again because it's getting kind of thin there. We're just going to hit him all over there. And if you do like watching this sort of thing, I would encourage you, or like to encourage you, to think about subscribing or following or whatever you want to do, because I do giveaways and reviews and live games where I'll play like one a day, or you know, things like that. I'll play a game every day. I did that last year for the entire year of 2016, and I played one game every day. It was my way of battling depression and anxiety and sort of doing it that way, and I succeeded. It was pretty fun. Brought my family closer together, that's for sure. I can tell a difference now, because now all they do is sit on their phones while I sit here and either play games, write about them, review them, you know, something to do with gaming. And they just about don't want anything to do with gaming anymore, it seems, because they're probably all gamed out, rightfully so, after one game every day last year, which they didn't play every day, but still. I'm sure they played more than, well, I know they played more than they probably wanted to. All in the, you know, the mind of helping me, so I do appreciate it. And I'm really hoping that the audio on this one works for my mic. I've been getting running into trouble to where I can't get the damn audio to work. And it'll either be very echoed or won't show up at all. So I'm really hoping, since probably no viewers right now, hoping that it's fixed. I'll only be able to tell once I end the stream, unfortunately, which won't be right away. Now, there's that guy. And we're going cruising along here pretty good, actually. Move on to the fourth one here. Load the brush. See, and I had done the base coat on these guys this morning, and it was another stream, which you can see on the channel for right now. But it didn't pick up the audio, like I said, so you did get some ambient sound from these awesome Cthulhu-like ambient sound mixes that I've been listening to. But other than that, you didn't actually, get to hear me, which could be a good thing, I suppose. Just depends. If you're wanting to hear me blab, then it's not a good thing, because you couldn't hear me in that one. So hopefully this one you can hear me in it, if you're wanting to hear me in it. If you're not wanting to hear me in it, hopefully I can at least hear me in it, so I know it's working. So there's those guys now. Slide them over here. And you can see how just doing that little bit of a different tone of red really makes them pop. I gotta get a little bit more in this guy. This one and there's another one there. They're not really lit up the way I want them to be. Okay, that's got that guy. Now this guy's good. Okay, and then this guy. And as Bob Ross always says, it's better to work from the background than the foreground, because once you get to the foreground, it's a lot harder to cover everything up. And it works with this stuff too. Same thing. You put your base coat on, that's basically your background. Okay, there we go. So there's the four guys, the four Elgarings that we're working on for the day. And now I just have to put a lighter color of red, which is pure red. And then after I do the pure red, I can move on to matte black and then uniform gray for the highlights on that. So we'll move right into pure red. I'm going to go ahead and check and make sure this works. Oh, cool. Alright, it works. Just wanted to test and make sure that the chat was working. So this way I can see if one of you guys happens to say anything. Alright, so now we're on to pure red. Now pure red I'm not going to thin down at all, because I want this to stick in just one go. And I want it really, dry for the dry brushing. You don't want globs of wet paint. You want dry paint for this. So we'll take this guy here, and now you'll see it start to pop as we just hit the corners. There's still too much in there. And you just want to hit the corners. You don't want to hit everything. And this just adds that extra layer of detail in there. So there you go. So now here is one guy with that red, pure red, and here's a guy without. And I'm pretty sure you can see the difference. It might be hard to tell in the camera, but it's pretty apparent to me anyway. And this will dull down too. It won't stay super duper bright like that. It'll dull down some when you put the red ink wash over it. So you don't have to worry about it being like really, really, really outstanding. It just, I don't know, it kind of matches. It goes perfect. Brings it right at the tones you're hoping for a lot of times when you do that. So now, I mean, you can tell that's a big difference on this dude. And the camera's bringing the color out a lot more. It's accentuating that color a lot more than it actually is. So let's see if I can look over here at my screen and just kind of dry brush on here and tell you. Okay, so we need, let's see. Okay, right there. I'm going to try to get this corner here. Ooh. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to do blind. Anyway, I'm sure you guys can see it as it slowly starts building up that brighter red. So I gotta add even a little more to the brush now. Okay, I'm just about done with this dude as far as bright red, because you don't want it to overtake everything. And there we go. So now, as you can probably tell, they are a lot brighter. Especially the dude I just did. He's like, in the camera, he's glowing. Gosh. Okay. Well, anyway, that's that. So now, we'll go ahead and do the red tone. The red ink real quick, because that's pretty bad. And now the red ink is a lot darker. It will bring that down. I don't know how much as far as the camera shows, but it'll bring it down quite a bit. I'm just working with one drop for now just to see what this does to this dude. So right there, it's like super bright on that pauldron. So let's see what this red ink does here. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do, which I mean I've done all the other models this way too, but it's weird seeing it, the reaction from it on the camera. Like I said, I'm not used to using a camera to look at this stuff or see how it's working or anything. But it's, yeah, this guy, he actually turned out really good, if I do say so myself, which I do. Can I do that? Yes. Why? Because I'm not a professional. And even if I were, I would say that this was a good job. Well, I mean, if I had done better as a professional, but, you know, if I was a professional, I'd have said it either way. I remember the first time I ever used inks, I was a teenager, and I didn't know what the deal was with the ink. I didn't understand it. It's like, why the heck do you need the ink? You know, it's very transparent. It doesn't really do much. I would have rather used, you know, paints, which I did. But then it was like I had an epiphany, and I seen that the ink, the tone of the ink actually changes the color. So even though, you know, I was a know-it-all teenager, I had learned through just screwing around that ink will change the color of anything you have. And it won't change it drastically, but just ever so slightly, just enough. A tiny hint. And so I started to paint for a local shop in Ohio when I lived there. And I was still a teenager, and, you know, I wasn't professional by any means. It's just they liked what I did, and I did it in my off time. So I started experimenting with all their inks because I could go in there and I can get whatever the heck I wanted, and that was wonderful, by the way. I miss that. 'Cause that stuff was expensive then, and even now it's so hard to get back into it because of the prices. But anyway, so I started playing around with the inks and the washes and, you know, all that stuff. And I remember doing armor, and I painted the armor, you know, silver, just like every other armor. And I was thinking about it because I think I was painting orcs. It was some 40K models, and I never played, but I painted them for the shop, so I can't remember exactly what they were. I think they were orcs, though. They were the cool ones that had the mechanized, you know, things, the machinery and all that. And there was like this trike that I'd painted. It was something like a trike anyway. So it had the armor on it and all that stuff, and I painted it with some ink after I had done the armor. And it was just like blue or green ink. I can't remember which one. I think I did green. And it looked so cool because it kind of looked like acidic in a way. It just gave it this green hue, a green tint to the silver. So I started playing around with it more, and eventually I got to the point where, even though I wasn't a very good painter, I was able to get some decent outcomes because of happy accidents. And you know, when you're doing that as a kid, it's very important to learn that kind of stuff. Anyway, so here's the last of the ink, and it did bring it down. It is. I wish I'm gonna have to play around with the camera. Maybe the tone is just so bright on this camera, but it's really not. Let's see if they look all similar to the ones I did yesterday. I think it was yesterday, day before. Well, they all look about the same. But these guys, these fresh guys are really, really bright. But anyway, so that's that's all the reds. Now we go ahead and go on to the matte black, and we are almost done with these models. And the matte black, all you do is the elbow pieces, and there's these little like hoses right here, and then parts of the gun and the waist, the under armor, undersuit, whatever. But it's not a very hard model to paint, which is really attractive for somebody who's just getting back into painting these. It's a love I've always had, but I haven't really. I've made mostly my own custom scenery anymore, and not really bothered with painting minis. And it was more or less just, because I wasn't sure if I was still good enough. And I learned that I'm maybe not good per se, but I'm not horrible. So I do my best, I try to make it look decent. I don't want to half-ass it. I don't know how else to say it, but I don't want to half-ass it. I want to do it right. I want it to look good. And not to mention, these guys are so small. It's it could be pretty demanding to try and paint them. So for my problems that I have physically, because I'm disabled, and I don't know. I don't even want to get into that, but the physical problems that I have, a lot of it has to do with my back and my nerves, and on top of that, anxiety and other things. But anyway, nerve damage, back damage, neck damage, that's what the gist of it is. And when I do painting like this, it's very therapeutic. My back, right now, it is killing me. I can't lie. But this gives me a reason to try to focus my energy on something else other than the pain. Because the bottom line is, I would still have the pain if I was painting or not. If I'm sitting in this position, I still have that same horrid pain, or horrendous pain, I guess it would be, than if I were reclined, on the couch or something. It doesn't matter. And the pain is so severe most of the times that I can't even sleep. For instance, last night I was up almost all night. It really sucked, because I was wanting to sleep. Oh, the gun. So, yeah. This is very therapeutic to me. And even the talking to myself part right now, because I know that there's probably nobody watching. I don't know if anybody ever will, to be honest. But even the talking is helping to take my mind off of all that pain. But even then, you know, you can only go so long. So, you probably see my hand starting to shake now. It's like it's right on cue when it happens too. Has it been close to an hour yet? Let's see. I don't see it on there. And I can't see it down there. Let's see. It has been 30 minutes. So we're actually cruising right along. But you can see how it was like the second I mention it, it starts to shake and things happen. And so doing this kind of stuff keeps it off my mind. Obviously not when I talk about it, but still, you get the point. So now I know this is a technically like a first video for me in a while. I do have a Patreon account. I do plan on doing plenty of giveaways. I have a couple copies of Tabletop Simulator actually right now to give away. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it because I don't have enough viewers at this very moment. And you know, I know you probably wouldn't mind it, whoever's listening to this or watching or whatever, but we need more people so they have a chance to win too. Giveaway is not really a giveaway if one person is guaranteed. Well, one person is guaranteed to win, but yeah. Okay, so he's done. On to the next dude. Oh, no, he's not done. Is he? Yeah, I got those already. I was looking at the those chest tubes. I already got them. So we'll go ahead and get them on this dude too. Oh, gotta wash the brush. Starting to get that little bit of paint build up on the end. And I don't thin my black paint primarily because it's very thin right out of the bottle. I feel like it's more thin than any of my other paints. So I do get pretty good coverage out of it. I've painted quite a bit of black pieces, and I still have quite a bit of paint left, so I'm sure once it gets lower I might start thinning it more, because then it's, you know, starts to get precious. You're running out of it. Okay, so there's that. Now we gotta do the elbows. Okay. He's got a weird elbow on that side. And this one too. Alright. I really love these models. These things are so cool. They did a great job on the sculpt, which in turn makes it easier for people not so good at painting like myself to make them look halfway decent. and be proud of it. Because that is a very important thing too. And if you would have told me 3 years ago that I'd be where I am right now doing what I'm doing, I wouldn't have believed you. I thought this hobby had failed me. Well, I thought I failed the hobby, put it that way. Turns out I've come full circle and I'm right back in it. I love this brush. It's just a well-made and solid brush. I love it. Very reliable. I gotta say though, I really do love the Insane Detail brush as well. I'm already on my second one. One of my buddies, who is also one of my supporters, noticed that I had broke mine, and it was going to take me quite some time to obtain a new one. Thankfully and graciously, he donated one, and I couldn't be happier. The Insane Detail brush has got to be my favorite because it's so precise that, again, I hate trying to sound negative. I don't mean to, but it's so precise that even I can make it look good, or it can make me look good, I should say. So there's all the black on that. And we're onto this guy. What do we got now? 37 minutes. We're doing pretty good. I don't know if that's how long the stream's been going on. I think so. But we're doing pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and do this guy's chest tubes first, like we've done on the others. I hate getting little teeny tiny bits of paint like that one right in there. Hate that. You can't wipe it off. It's so tiny and it's in such a precarious spot that you'll never get your fat finger in there to get it. Okay, so let's get this gun done. I know usually, well, on the last ones I was doing the elbows first. I was really wanting to get to this gun. I like the way it looks. And because I used to do cosplay and I've made plenty of props, weapons and guns like this and armor like this in general, it holds a sweet spot in my heart because this stuff is just so cool. Okay, see if I can't get that in there. Right in there. See there? Okay. Okay, now this gun, I have no clue. Is there one on here? No, I don't see one. So for this guy, we'll go with some black on the barrel because it's sticking with the theme. Even though I'd probably do silver and get away with it on this particular one. We're gonna go with black right there. There we go. Okay. And then his waist. Last no, okay. This is third guy. Uh-oh. Get some guy. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So what'd you spend your morning doing? Looking at miniature crotches. What? It's not what it sounds like, I swear. I'm sorry I asked. I'm sorry I said it. No, really, I think I'm sorry I said that. Alright. So he's done. And we go to this guy. The last one here. Still no viewers. Oh, wow. I don't know where I was going with that one. Fat finger problem. I really hope that the audio for this works for my mic and the ambient music. It's gonna take me a couple tries to get the volumes down, but I'm hoping that I at least have them working right now. Have I mentioned how much I love this brush? There's the gun. To the waist. The detail on these guys is just, every time I do this part of them, I love looking at this detail. It's so fun to paint. And kind of easy. Not, you know, super easy or nothing, but still easy enough that each time you do it, you're like, okay, I know exactly how to do this part. So, you know, my hat's off to them on that. Because they did it to where your brain kind of just goes, okay, I got this. And it takes over. Your hand just Does what your brain tells. Or tells. Says. Durr. Alright. And that is that guy. So now, bring these guys back over here. Like so. Rinse this brush out. Okay, we got that rinsed out good. And now we get to use the little guy. Can you see that brush? I don't know what kind of accent that was, but sure. Okay. So now we gotta do in there. Know if you could tell. Okay. Another one. Okay. Rinse the brush. When it's so tiny like this, takes no time at all. The paint is set up right on the end there for you. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay. Get this guy. That way and that way. Okay. Rinse that out. There's one other thing I got to do with the eyes. Let's see if it's in there. A little line of gray. Plus there's gray on some of the high points on this, so I gotta do that too. But as far as the eyes go, there's a tiny bit of gray. So I'm gonna go ahead and just a drop. And we're gonna go ahead and water this one down just like ink, because we don't need a lot of the gray pigment. So now, just to make sure, we're gonna go with right here. Okay, so I didn't really get anything on that one. Try that again. There we go. Itty bitty gray line in there. This gun, there's not too much that requires it. Well, I can try to put it right there. And then right here. just to show a little reflection, I guess you could call it. So he's done, and that's pretty much it. That's how these last three are gonna go, hopefully. So you start on the tubes, go here, go here and here, pull up a little bit more, and then the eyes. Oh man, I'm starting to shake real bad. I'll go with the edge. Gun there. There we go. That one got it. And on this, like I said, you don't need a whole heck of a lot. Just enough. Just kind of to give it the edge. To give it the edge, I guess. So he's done. Two more. Do the boob tubes. Couple streaks for the gun here. Eyes, which I don't know why I do this. I think I don't know, just it's just to represent a reflection on the visor, to me anyway, but like nobody else is gonna see that but me, and even then, if you give me enough time, I'll forget I did that. Then again, I don't know. I might remember that for a long time with this, you know, precise as that is. Like, do you see that? Look, I painted that itty bitty line. I mean, it could be like that. I don't know. Got that line on one go. Awesome. Gun. Try to get it along there. There. Doing this back corner and the front corner. Maybe in there. Okay. And then up here we'll go with the back corner. With that corner right there. There, and there. Okay, so that's it for those guys. These four, anyway. And now you have seen me go from the dark base to the highlighting to the blacks to the finishing. And if you watched the video from earlier, you'll see me painting the dark base color on. Is it, excuse me, is it worth watching? I don't know. I guess if you wanted to and listen to some awesome ambient music, ambiance. So now I've got those guys done. They're ready to have the sand on their bases, which I'll probably wait and I'll do a stream or a video showing that. But now I get to paint these guys. There are 4 of them, just like I just did. These are the last 4 though. Those are the last 4, and then I have these little like drones, I guess you could call them. There's 1, 2, 3 for the Algorin, which are the guys I'm painting now, and other guys are Concords, I believe. And then there are 6 for the Concords. So there's quite a few of them. So I still have essentially 6, 3 is 9, and 4, 13. I still have 13 minis to paint before I'm done. However, I happen to have this big book right here, which also says the different scenarios to teach you the game. And scenario 1 only requires 4 of them guys, 3 of them guys. So I can go ahead and actually start playing this now. So I may actually do that. I don't know. But yeah. So, and the cool thing about this is they also give you a painting guide. That's why I've got this set up here. Let's see. It's not really well lit, but it's a painting guide. See. So it tells you how to paint them, what colors, how to base them and everything else, and dry brushing. It's got the Concords, and then it shows you all the other cool factions that are in here, or races. And I really like the Boromites. The models of them are just awesome. I'd like to have even just one of those little dudes there, or that big guy. But I mean, those are just so crazy looking. But there's a whole world to this game, and it's great. So be sure to check that out. Beyond the Gates of Antares. Strike on Kara 9. This is the beginner set, or starter set, I guess you could call it. Comes with 2 factions, rules, everything ready to go. So, I guess that's... I can't quit yawning. I guess that's about it for now. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching in the past, present, or future, thank you. And be sure to check back for more. Follow, subscribe, check my Facebook, Twitter, my blog, my Instagram. I do a lot of pictures. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'm the Kentucky Board Gamer, Mr. Tim Blackburn, and we are out of here.
Listen.
If you want to get wild, you want to get real wild, you think Kentucky Board Gamer in the house.
Now let's get out there and melt some face.